We're standing here at Ballymacran, it's on the shores of Lough Foyle, just outside Ballykelly, and around the townland of an area known locally as Maroe. You can see straight away there's an awful lot of similarities between it and the area around Inch. Both areas were reclaimed from the sea at a time, primarily to facilitate agriculture, but also to see the development of a railway line, which still runs here. There's a number of similarities and common themes running between the two sites, and primarily it's the overwintering wildfowl that we're interested in, because we know that when the geese come back, or the geese and the swans come back from the Arctic for the winter time, they're visiting both this site and they're visiting both on Inch levels as well. So that's one of the reasons why we've decided to try and develop this project, because we know that there's a linkage between the site, and so it's a perfect opportunity to take advantage of European funding to develop the infrastructure here, to let people know why the site is so important in terms of the wildfowl habitat. We've known for quite some time, anecdotal evidence would suggest that this place is well used by people for passive or outdoor recreation, as well as being an important piece of agricultural ground. People do take the opportunity to come and walk along the seawall, or cycle, walk their dogs, just to get in the outdoors, and you couldn't blame them on a day like today. We have put visitor monitoring equipment in, and we've been astonished by the figures of people that are coming, and it's told that there's a clear correlation between the numbers of visitors and when the winter and wildfowl are coming back. And so there's a sharp increase in numbers around October time, late September, early October, when the birds are coming back for their first visit of the year. Well, what we hope to do on the capital works is provide a number of bird hides or screens at strategic locations along the shoreline. We're concentrating on a section of shoreline from Ballykelly through to Roe Estuary, and the reason why we're concentrating on that is because it's a safe access to the Lough Foyle shore, and through this project we're encouraging people to access the shore, to come down and take in the fantastic landscape, but also to see the birds and just enjoy the space. But we want people to do that in a safe and responsible manner. Learn more about the species and the habitat through our interpretation, and make use of the screens to provide the cover to see the birds when they're feeding in their natural habitat. So there's no better way to see them than getting up close and find out more about why this site is so important. It's designated as a Ramsar site, which makes it internationally important. To accompany the brochure that's already been produced for the site, we hope to put in a number of interpretive panels explaining about the habitat, and not just about the habitat, but also the story of the landscape and some of the history associated with it as well. But we'll be putting signs in at Ballykelly Bank, here at Ballymacran and at Maroe, but we also highlighting other places where it's safe and accessible to view some of the bits and pieces that you can see down around here, everything from the bird life through to the other flora and fauna, such as Roe Estuary and Balls Point, which isn't too far away. It's really about promoting sustainable and responsible outdoor recreation, not just the overwintering wildfowl, but this is a great place to come at any time of the year, and we know that people do because of the data that we're collecting. We're working with the landowners. At the end of the day, it's also a working landscape, and we have to recognise that, and it's a very important agricultural area, big for potato farming. In the distance there you'll see the whipper swans on the lawn turf that's being grown commercially here, which is quite an extensive operation. But this is quite an expansive bit of ground, and it's very important in terms of the local economy, in terms of agriculture. There's a big association with rapeseed oil here now as well, as we go back up towards Ballykelly, and there's an awful lot of arable farming going on here. So we have to recognise that as much as anything else in terms of importance of the local economy and keeping people in the area, and hopefully creating a sense of ownership of why this area is special and why it merits protection. The great thing about down here is you've got a big 360 degree view. So to the rear here we've got Limavady Town and Annaloo and Keady Mountain coming northwards, sweeping northwards towards Benevena there, and then it's very pronounced flat top and cliff edge, and then as it falls away down towards the flatlands of McGilligan, reaching across the mouth of Lough Foyle towards Greencastle and Maville, the top of Inishowen, and then the eastern shore of Inishowen coming all the way down back in towards Derry there, Sleep Schnat, and you can even see bits and pieces of grain in there today. And then we sweep around, we're back of Eglinton, Lochermore Forest, and then down towards the Sperrins, and we'll see Donald's Hill and Benbrada and some of the other hills outside Dungiven there in the Glen Shane Pass.